Hey, everybody! How's everyone doing? Kevin Chan today is back from his, like this Pulau Redang experience. Back from partying at the sea for somebody who doesn't really like water too much. Right, so how's everyone doing? Right, so it's 7:30 in the morning and we are at the juncture of crossing over, still very long actually before we cross over, to the month of June, right? So, right, so the scary month of May is approaching the end already. I don't know whether you guys find it scary or not. It's like one natural disaster after another natural disaster, right? So it's somehow like the natural disaster conjugation month, right? So every time you open up the news, it seems like some other country is having their own version of a natural disaster, right? So yeah, we're gonna look at the 10-day master forecast right now. Now we're gonna take a look at it, and we're gonna take a look at how can we further leverage on this particular month, right? So the month of horse is very important because why? The month of horse for the year of the 2025 is going to be the month whereby they got the most amount of positive start, right? So most amount of positive start around, so which means that this is the month whereby you either roll forward, or you are the type of person who like to stay back and fix things, then you can stay back and fix things, or for those of us who like to sprint forward, and this is the month you sprint forward for the rest of the 9 more months to go. Yeah, I know, still plenty of time, right? So we only just passed 4 months, 4 months past, this is the 5th month of the year. So, hopefully we'll be able to do good, right? So, for those of you who have just joined us, welcome, happy, I don't know whether I want to call holiday or not. Yeah, by the way, it's a school holiday right now. So for those parents, that doesn't need to bring the kids to school anymore, good luck bringing your kids to the school holiday, right? So like just yesterday only, I just came back. Wow, the boat trip back from Redang is because, all the boat right now is from the mainland going into Redang right now. Right, so there was like, I spoke to the boatsman, he said like, at least yesterday got about 200 boat is gonna go into Redang. Right, so just imagine those people who's doing snorkeling, right? I don't know how they're gonna snorkel, but anyway, right? So let's go on and take a look at the month of horse, which is start from the 5th of June, right? So 5th of June is the day whereby I'm bringing my own trips to the great land of Penang and also Thailand, introducing them to the island of Penang and also Thailand in the first ever excursion that is done by me, right? So is that, I just finished going on other people's holiday, right? So I bring people to holiday somewhere, right? So that's on the 5th, right? So that's why the entire trip was planned inside the 5th, so that the energy has already transited from the Grand Duke, and we start the entire journey on the first day of the new year, new month of the horse, right? So now first of all, the chat screen doesn't seem to be moving, so I don't know whether it's because the chat screen not moving or what's the situation, right? So let me know if you guys can type anything into the chat screen and you're moving or not. If you are already typing in the chat screen, then I can't see the chat screen, so it's fine. Right, I'll just talk to the wall, that usual. Right, so let me just go down to the smaller version right now, and then we're gonna start talking about the year, right? So as usual, right, so you want to join the Telegram. Somebody told me that they can't join the Telegram. I don't know, I just tried it out. It seems to be working and fine, right? So for those of you who try to join the Telegram, who cannot join the Telegram, just PM me in the community channel, which is the Facebook channel. You can still get in touch with me on the Facebook channel. Right, so go and join the Facebook channel, go and find me, Kevin Chan, there you can PM me, or else you can sign up for the Substack, which is the monthly forecast. By the way, this particular forecast has already been published, I think 2 weeks ago in Substacks. So if you want the written version, like a newspaper, to be delivered to your email box, please go and put down your email there. Right, so as I publish next month or next month, whatever it is that I publish, you will get a copy of it inside your mailbox, so it won't go lost. It's pretty simple. Okay, right, so now that's what you can do, right? So and this is your party chart. If you have not printed your party chart yet, if you're completely new, Okay, right. So if you are somebody who is senior already, you already know that all my BaZi talk in terms of the DayMaster. I don't talk in terms of the animal sign. Right. So if you want the animal sign forecast, please go and look for other masters. Other masters got a lot of time to do animal sign. I don't. Right. So I do only the DayMaster. So how do you recognize your DayMaster? Go to typing astro. Plot your own BaZi chart. Right, so then you basically be looking at the particular DayMaster itself, right? So this one is called the Yeetwood DayMaster, or you call the Yinwood, or you call the softwood, whatever it is, right? So whatever terminology you want to use, officially it's called a Yeetwood, right? So this is basically the DayMaster. So the DayMaster never change throughout your entire life. You just need to recognize it one time, remember it, then to wherever you go, when anyone is using the DayMaster, you can straight away know that one is associated with you. Okay, pretty simple. Get this particular thing printed, go and find out your DayMaster. So we will go through today all the 10 separate DayMaster, as in what are the strategy that you can apply, what are the opportunity that is available, and also what are things that you might want to pay a bit of attention to in terms of maneuvering the particular month. So we are talking about the month of Horse, which start on the 5th of June. Right, so you can take a look at now. These are all the months moving. So can you see that the date is not aligned to your Gregorian calendar? So please, for those of you who are into practicing Chinese metaphysics, just throw the Gregorian calendar into the rubbish bin. Right, stop asking why. It's not the first. It's not the first. Nobody in the Chinese metaphysics will care about the Gregorian calendar. Okay, the Gregorian calendar basically is a useless calendar that's been invented by. They have even shifted the calendar every now and then. So you guys know that the August, September, October, November is basically 8, 9, 10, 11, but anyway, right? So it doesn't really matter. Somebody shifted because they want their birthday and their name to be in there, right? So like for example, July is actually named after Julius Caesar, because the fellow one that particular month, right? They have to shift everything else everywhere just to put that one in. All right, so don't use that one, right? So you can see that every single month is different. Like for example, after the Horse month, we're gonna go into the Goat month, right? So and then it's July 7 only it starts, right? So the date actually change. You see, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 7, sometimes it's 5, sometimes it's 3rd. Right, so all this basically shifted, right? So that's why this one you need to go and buy an actual what we call 10,000 year calendar, right? So 10,000 year calendar would have already aligned all the timing for you and me to take a look, so you don't have to do the calculation, right? So of course, for those of you who are into this very academically, at least you want to produce a calendar. There are those of us who love to produce calendar one, right? So then you can go and find out the actual 24 season transition, right? So there will basically be explanation on it, on the internet nowadays. Very, very convenient. Go and learn, right? So like for me, don't care. Open up the calendar, it said this particular date. Use this particular date back. Right, so now you can see this particular month in terms of the sun chart or the auxiliary star system. Right, so for forecasting, actually the auxiliary star system is the heavy part of it, especially annual forecasting. Right, so you can see that this particular month is all the big gun is basically here, right? Especially you got the intelligence star and study hall, right? So now very important, intelligence star, study hall right now is what lesson have you learned? We have passed through the past 4 months. Right, so tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, so 4 months already, and snake happened to be the grand duke, which is the triggering point for everything, right? So now is after you have seen the first 4 months, right, it's time for you to sit down and ask yourself, what have I learned in the first 4 months, and what are the things that I need to further enhance and further learn? This is going to be the month. Whether you go forward, you don't go forward, whether you fall flat on your face, this is going to be the month. So that's why it's a very, very important month. And you have a Taiji nobleman as well. Now Taiji nobleman helps you to upgrade the level of perception that you have. Right, so this one I always tell people is this, right? Somebody who is having a 10,000 buck problem versus a person who has a 100,000 buck problem. It's a very different world. Right, you just imagine somebody whose income, like for us in Malaysia, right? So our average household income is about 4,000. Very low. right? Very, very low. So the other day, just that, I has a glimpse of, Asian country annual household income. I think it's in USD lah. So I don't know whether, the number is. Singapore is about 92,000 a year. Malaysia 14,000 a year. I think it's USD, because if you USD, you convert it back, it's about 40,000. Right, so 40,000 is correct, because our national average is about 4,000. So tell me, if somebody's income is annual income is 40,000 versus somebody annual income is 500,000, do you think these two person look at problem in a very different manner? They have different set of problem. So if you are 500,000 and then you look at the people who is 40,000 a year thought income, right, is their problem somehow is not problem anymore. That's what Taiji Nobleman help you do. Taiji Nobleman help kick you up to the next level. It also means that you'll be facing bigger problem. That's the downturn already, right? So then you got Peach Blossom. Peach Blossom is a very strong, attractive star. So it's very important for those of you who are in the sales line, right? So it's able to attract more customer, right? So you got your Heaven Doctor as well, right? So Heaven Doctor, Heaven Chief, actually both of them. Now Heaven Doctor, no need to introduce a lot. This is good for healing. Right, very, very good for healing, very, very good for, So now for those of you who have been hurt in the month of Sin, for whatever reason, then suddenly start to realize certain things happen, because whatever you feel like, or internally, externally hurt, whatever it is. This particular month of horse with the Heaven Doctor is a very, very important things for you to do your healing. Right, so you can go for your meditation, chanting, whatever it is. Give charity, all of that, actually help with the spiritual side of things. Or really, sign up for your gym, go and see your doctor, do whatever scanning that you need to do, certain things that's bothering you. Heaven Chef in the olden day is good for eating only. Heaven Chef. Heaven Chef is actually somebody who has a very, very peculiar skill set, which means that you give them one ingredient, they will be able to make a lot of dishes out of that one ingredient. So you give them potato, they'll be creative enough to create French fries, mashed potato, a lot of stuff. So this one ensures that the person is no lacking in terms of food. So today, if you translate here, right, you probably go for a lot of food related. So if you got Peach Blossom, Heaven Chef together, your Pak Tok experience seems to be pretty good. You gotta go eat, right? So if you have a horse inside your chart, which I have 2, maxed out, I got 2 horse inside my chart, right? So that's why this particular energy signature is quite available for me, right? So that's why it's leveraging the energy itself, to achieve certain target to move forward. All right, cool. Right, so these are all the things that is right. So for the what we call horse. Right, so now this particular month is available for everybody, because this is the month of horse. So the energy of the horse is available for everyone. Everyone get to use it, even if it's not in your BaZi chart. If it's inside your BaZi chart, it get a multiplicative effect. Right, so which is enhance it to become right. So that's what is available, right? So there's always 2 side of things when you take a look at it, right? So this particular month is called the Water Horseman Renwu, right? Water Horseman Renwu. So there is always the side which is the combined, right? So which is the Ting Wei, right? So if you got Ting Wei inside your BaZi chart, the energy is naturally drawn towards you. Right, the energy is naturally drawn towards you, so you don't need to spend much effort and you'll be able to attract the energy. Whereas if you are Bingzi, the energy is naturally repelled by you. Give you also you don't want, just put it in a way lah. Right, so now this doesn't mean that it is good or bad, right? This does not make it good or bad. It is just explaining the situation. Right, somebody, some certain people, you give them thing also they don't want. So it's not good, it's not bad, right? So you just have to know that. But these 2 particular pillar, if it exists inside your BaZi chart, means that this particular month you feel the energy more intensely, or your reaction is a little bit more higher. Right, that's all. Don't get too overly excited with the situation or whatever. This is not good or bad. Please don't go and associate or combining guarantee good. Clash mean guarantee bad. Not necessary, right? So not necessary. You need to know what get combined in, or you know what get rejected out. You know, if it's rejecting something that's already bad, then you know it's good. The energy helps you to reject things out. The energy helps you see the situation. Like for example, intelligence star, you know, it increase your intelligence. Certain thing that you normally cannot see one, or you will blur case one. Like suddenly right now you have the intelligence to see through the entire thing. So you know, if you got the 丙子, then it's easier for you to reject all the, you know, if the thing that you see the truth is bad, easier for you to reject it. Right? Whereas if you're combined, right, even if the thing is bad, right, you will keep on trying to rescue the situation. Sometimes it becomes, depend on the, you know, entire circumstance, right? So just now you see already the month is actually governed by Yi Wood, so we will start with Yi Wood first, you know, so that, you know, we don't complain that every single time, you know, you talk Jia Wood first, you know. This time with Jia Wood last. We start with Yi Wood, so or else I cannot use the what we call menu. Right, I designed the menu so that, you know, I can, you know, skip around, right? So now what happened here is that the Yi Wood, if you take a look at it, are you all familiar with this thing called tumbleweed? You know, if you've seen enough the cowboy movie, right? So cowboy movie, Wild Wild West one, right? So you know, every single time when they are, you know, doing the what we call the shoot down, right? So two fella, you know, trying to shoot each other, you know, then while they are waiting, you know, for the pull the gun to shoot, right? So sometimes tumbleweed will roll under, right? So if you are watching Japanese show, then it's gonna be the crow. The crow go nga nga nga, means that, you know, a certain time has passed, right? So the tumbleweed is a very resilient plant, right? So when it's dry, it will actually dry itself into the dry version, which is the brown version of the tumbleweed. So it start to roll. You see that, why the hell the tumbleweed want to roll? It's actually trying to roll, follow the wind, let the wind blow it to a place whereby there is water. It trusts the wind to blow it to a place whereby there's water. So once the tumbleweed touches the water, it will start to regrow. It, no matter how long the tumbleweed has been a tumbleweed, right? So, you know, it grow to the water, and then so that basically talk about how resilient certain people is. So this is a month we talk about resiliency, right? So the energy that is exposed to is the direct resource and eating god, and these two, for those of you who've been following the 10 god explanation, so you know these two belong to the good guy clan, right? At least the direct resource, right, belong to the good guy clan. So direct resource, a lot has to do with the knowledge that is coming in, right? So now, like this one, then you can couple with the intelligence star, right? So because intelligence star right now is driven by a resource star, so the ability to learn, right? So and the ability to innovate, which come from the eating god, learn, innovate, it's very, very strong, right? So which means that the environment right now is basically in a alignment for the Yi Wood to basically come out with great solution. They are able to sponge the whatever information is available. Now they are able to generate new and what we call the groundbreaking type of solution for whatever problem that is there, right? So like this one is further enhanced by the Taiji nobleman itself. Right, so right now the tumbleweed has touches water, right, inside the desert, right? So you know, you can see that the earth is basically like a barren desert, hot, right? So it's hot, right? So whatever it is, right? So you go inside there, you know, you'll be able to do a lot of things, right? So now, of course, you know, the problem with the resource star, direct resource, and eating god is that now both these lacking execution one, tell you first, both of them lacking execution. So both of them basically is very imaginative and very theoretical person, right? So they don't have the actual ability to execute, right? So that's why, you know, you have great idea, you know, you think of things, you know, so you understand things in a perspective, but it never go into the groundwork, it never go into execution, also no use. So you know, it's basically a session whereby you got a lot of ideas now. Right, so for you, if you're Yi Wood, then you need to go and do execution. So you can see that the annual Yi is your friend's time. Partner with someone, right? Get the idea out, partner with someone. Partner with, of course, you go and partner with someone who have execution power. So later you can take a look at which DayMaster which have good execution power. Then, you know, you partner with that particular partner and try to kick this into an actual product. Or else, you know, everything just exists in the theoretical world of, you know, existence. That's it, right? So move on to the Beng. right? So now ping, if you take a look, right? So now ping, if you take a look, is the 7K versus the Rockwell. So it is, you know, very intensely, a lot of fire, a lot of heat, right? So not enough water there, right? So just one small patch of water there, right? So this one you can imagine is the savanna desert. The water hole becomes smaller and smaller. So what happens when the water hole becomes smaller and smaller? Competition goes up, Rockwell. 7 killing goes up, kill each other. So now this one, if you take a look at it, wow, this one seems to be very intense and very aggressive, right? Yes, it's going to be now from the perspective of a ping fire, right? So from the perspective of a Yi Wood is, you know, dream, la, you know, a lot of solution, you know. So you see how Yi Wood see the entire thing in a very different manner, right? So then ping fire, when it comes, it's like, you know, it's all, you know, this one is all fight, you know, it's all fight, you know, must fight with each other. So the entire idea right now is that how resourceful is the ping fire, right? So how the amount of resourcefulness in the ping fire, which means that if you're given very little resources, how can you maximize the entire resources? If the water patch is getting smaller, right, how are you gonna do? You're gonna jump in and play the Red Sea game, which is, you know, let's ditch it out and kill each other, right? Which is, you know, sometimes what the animal does, right? So, or you're gonna play the what we call the blue ocean game, right? So depend on how you wanna do, right? So don't go in and fight for the sake of fighting, right? So no, it's senseless fighting. You need to really understand that, you know, what is the fight about. Some people like to go in and just fight, you know. Going to just fight mean that, you know, you come here and then you, what happened now, you let's say that, you know, you were drinking the water, you know, don't care what animal you are first, you know, drinking the water, then another animal come in and drink the water, and then you don't nicely, then you go and spend all your energy, which right now is you already got no much energy, right? You spend all your energy chase after this particular fella, chase after round and round, chase after round. While you chase after round, now the other animal all come into the watering hole and, you know, drink the water. Right, so while the two of you, you know, play chase around, you have seen that before, right? So no, don't waste your time on this sort of activity, right? So which is senseless aggression, senseless competition, right? So some people does that one, right? So some people, you know, do this sort of thing. No, I don't care, you know, what's the cost, you know, as long as this particular fella is holding an event here, I want to hold an event next door. Some people does that. Okay, like for example, senseless price war. Right, senseless price war is that, you know, you sell 10 ringgit, I sell 8, you know, you sell 8, I sell 5, you know, 4, 3, 2, 1. I even give you a free bowl of noodle to eat. What's the point? You know, you're just selling everybody out of the market, which is what is happening in China, by the way. Right, so China, they right now they tell, you know, oh, 很卷. What happened here is that the competition inside the China market is so strong that, you know, they are virtually killing each other. So you can see a lot of Chinese right now, those that are very blue ocean one, right? They come over to Malaysia and they compete with Malaysian. So Malaysian is like juvenile little animal. Doesn't know how to compete with the Chinese. The Chinese just slaughter them. Yep. China people come in, they just basically slaughter them. Right, so now let's take a look at Ting Fire. Right, so now Ting Fire, you see the entire situation reverses. Although it's the same month. Right, so can you see that different DayMaster actually see things in a very different manner. Right, so this one got the DO and the friend star. Right, so the DO and the friend star, if you take a look at it, you know, you want to imagine you know, which is a small boat in a big sea. So small boat in a big sea, right? How do they navigate? It's actually not easy to navigate in the sea, because, you know, if you are in the sea, no, just came back from a boat ride between Redang Island and also the mainland of Terengganu, right? So when you live far enough away from Redang Island, but you have not reached there, you know, it is just 360 degrees, it's just water. Where to go? You don't know where to go. There is no road, no direction, no whatever it is, right? So, you know, if you're just using your eye, no way for you to find your way, right? So, you know, you're basically, you know, probably going wrong direction. Right, so of course today, you know, we got the compass, right? So, you know, in the olden day, what they do, they use the star, right? So they use the star, right? So this is when, you know, a person is very diligent. That's what the direct officer does. The direct officer deal with a person's discipline, diligence, right? So discipline, diligence. So the O with friend star is actually really about very strong leadership. It's together we move. right? So now together we move here. The star is what we call the star constellation. So how does the woodman in the olden day know which direction that they are? Is to memorize the star constellation. Right, so they got star constellation chart, right? So when they see the star constellation, then they know that, oh, this constellation is in this particular area. So I know that if I plot it on the constellation chart itself, I would be in this particular area. So then they can calculate where are the closest landmarks or where are the place that they want to go. That's basically what they do, right? So it's basically a very disciplined, right? So the constellation definitely is very disciplined because the constellation don't shift to a different places. Okay, right? So the constellation stay the same because relatively our planet is very tiny to the constellation. So no matter how you wobble also, it's going to be that direction. Right, so no, that's going to be the same, right? So of course, this particular situation, you need to be careful of the blind leading the blind. So which means it's a person who doesn't know how to read a Waze map. Up until today, still got people doesn't know how to open Waze. Okay. Right. Yeah, really, from here to Terengganu, I need to drive. Some people still give me wrong direction. Right, give me wrong destination actually. Right, so you put it on the Waze, right? So we say that something's wonky here, something's wrong, right? So yeah, check, and hey, you give me the wrong place, like we are low. Right, so this is happen when you got a big group of people. Now see when we talk about leadership and leading people, right, sometimes you need to know who is leading who, right? Especially in this what we call a bit, you like to call democratic. So the old friend is actually a very very democratic situation, whereby you got a lot of people, they vote for the candidate. But what if you vote for the wrong candidate that completely does not have the skill set? That is the risk. That is the risk when you talk about certain things like democracy, right? So democracy is like, no, everybody, should be given a chance. Is it true? Would you vote somebody who got no kitchen experience to prepare meal for you? Right? So, it's like everybody is supposed to vote, and then, me come into the kitchen, I got lousy at cooking one, right? So then, I offer myself as a candidate to cook for you all. You are there. Right, really there. Sometimes meritocracy has its own things, right? So like this one is really, if you are looking about it, do you have the again a leadership skill set or your driving force or your discipline to actually be a leader? Right, are you the constellation type of people who know how to lead? So if you know that you are not the type of people who know how to lead, right, become a good follower. That's all, right? So think fire. Right, so although you're a very inspirational type of person, correct one, think fire automatically very inspirational, but you can be inspirational everybody into the wrong direction. Okay, right, so just be careful of that, right? So let's take a look at Wu Earth, next one. Right, so Wu Earth got indirect well. Now you see indirect well already happy, already got well star sure happy, right? Because why? I'm going to make money, right? So now for the millionth time, a well star doesn't drive money towards you. Right, it drives the way that you see the situation as in, I'm willing to engage in the situation. It is through engaging the situation. Then only you get result, which the result might or might not translate into money depending on the system that you are in. Okay, you need to really understand this first. Right, so now you take a look at Wu Earth right now. It's like the potential of generating energy. Right, so the energy generation potential. So you guys know the dam uses water, right? So to basically to generate the energy, right? So by the way, every single energy generation does the same thing. It's basically just something driving a turbine. Right, there is always a turbine behind it, right? So you use wind energy, same. The wind drive a turbine. You use wave energy, the wave drive a turbine. You use the water energy, the water drive a turbine. Even the very conventional coal energy, same thing. They burn the coal, they boil the water change into steam, the steam run the turbine. So what actually generates the energy is actually just a spinning of the turbine. Is what you use as a fuel to to generate the turbine is different, right? So anyway, all this energy generation is basically just transferring one form of energy to another. So the question, what store energy the best? Fossil fuel does store energy the best because it's the most stable, easily transported fuel storage, right? So your coal, your petroleum, right? So it's easily transferable, easily convertible to energy, so that so that's why they are popular, right? So that's all, right? So by the way, the dam, which is hydro energy, is actually solar power, right? Because what happened here is that where does the water come from? The water comes from the sun evaporating the sea. Then it change into cloud bring it up to the mountain come back down. The mountain itself don't generate water, please. Although in China, there's a lot of places whereby they build artificial pipe on top to generate water. But anyway, that's the entire process, right? So there's strong potential. Indirect wealth is basically opportunity generating potential from knowledge. Direct resource is knowledge, right? So if your worth, you happen to be somebody who sell knowledge, right? That's your job, selling knowledge. This month is a very good month, right? But if you're not somebody, is that you got knowledge of opportunity, so worth, go out, see things, is that, oh no, this one can do one, and that fellow will be able to understand how the entire thing works. I understand this thing work. Now, whether the worth is going to take action or not, that depends on the overall party chart already. If your overall party chart is the type that is stuck one, probably you won't take any action, which means that the water force is not strong enough. So you can see that the run water is not grounded and it is subjected to very high heat. So not grounded water subject to very high heat means that it doesn't last too long. Right? It doesn't last too long, means it won't wait for you. So earth usually a little bit more slower, it's a bit more slower, right? So it's about how you strategize the entire thing, how you harness the water to change it into the energy. But definitely the earth people is gonna see the opportunity. Right? So that's why if you are very lazy to identify opportunity, go and look for some earth friends. They will be able to identify it and talk to them. So if they are not gonna take any action on it, you take action on it. Right? Yeah, you don't really have to be the one, come up with the idea. Too many people think that I need to come up with original idea. Original idea, worthless one. Okay, right? So go and use what we call try and test it. If that place is making money, you want to make money using that particular place, it's safe for you to learn how to make money using that particular method because it's already tried and tested. Right, so GF, see situation change. Right now, GF right now is direct wealth. Direct wealth is the more popular version of wealth than indirect wealth, because indirect wealth not stable. Right, direct wealth is the stable one, right? So and then you got indirect resource. Now indirect resource with the indirect wealth right now is basically talking about building foundational knowledge. You want to be good at something, it's not one knowledge thingy. It's like you want the company to be stable. There is a lot of component in running a business, right? There's the finance component, there's the sales components, there is the operation component, there's the safety component. There's a lot of different components. So that's why you see that a lot of businesses, when the founder, you call it founder, right? So let's say the founder is a cook, right? So he cook, very awesome thingy. Then one day he think of oh, I want to go and open a restaurant. Usually fail like shit, right? Because why? The fella doesn't know how to run a restaurant. Simple as that. The fella has zero knowledge on how to run a restaurant. Or somebody who is pretty good at doing sales. You think that he's champion doing sales, right? Just put it in very good at doing sales. Going out say, oh, let's start my own company. Fail. Because why? He doesn't know how to run the rest of the place. So for you to know how to run the rest of the place, you need to have the knowledge that is very diverse. This is where indirect wealth comes in. Indirect wealth allow you to have the diverse knowledge, and the direct wealth happen to give you the hardworkingness to work on each and every one of this, so that you got good foundation. So this is like really pouring a good foundation for your building. How high your building go depend really on your structure of your foundation. If your foundation is weak, your business just basically go one corner, right? So if you think that everything is just about making promises to people, as long as they sign the dotted line, then you make money. Sorry, there is a lot of things behind it on term of delivery, in term of execution, in term of customer service. All they need to be covered. Running business, very difficult. Right? So like like me, like very normal, go to Redang Island, people go out snorkeling, I sit there calculate how much money. Yes, I see that calculating a lot. That's actually a lot of money. But the amount of crew that's running there, you know, the amount of people who's running around serving, you know, all the things, a lot of people. So which means that also, you know, the entire profit margin is actually not that much. And you are competing with, you know, 10, probably 10 other different resorts. Yeah, you know, that one stretch of seaside, there's probably 10 other different resorts. And some of them have a lot of monetary backing. So those that have a lot of monetary backing mean that they can play price war with you already. You sell at this price, I sell cheaper than you. Right? So they take all your customer away, then, you know, it's very difficult for you to survive. If you don't, you know, if you don't match the price, but that fella have funding behind it, you know. Right? So the fella got money to burn, and you don't have money, I need to burn. So how are you going to fight this sort of work? You need to understand that. Right? So all those, you know, if you got very strong foundational work done, you know, everything is basically connected to each other. You have a good ecosystem. By the way, this is what Apple does. Apple, very strong foundational ecosystem. It is not because of the product, it's because of the ecosystem that tie everything together. Right? So, and they are closed loop programming. Make it, you know, I think until another company decide to adapt the same thing. Right, so then probably, you know, you have a fight with them. If not, right, so if you're fighting ecosystem is very difficult. Right, so let's take a look at the Geng, come on. Right, so Geng, right, so EG and also DO. No, EG and DO, again, DO is very disciplined, right, so it's actually the fire hydrant. Right. Geng metal with a lot of water inside, you know, and you know it's useful during a fire hydrant, right? So the fire hydrant very sad one, you know, because why very sad? Most of the time it's left abandoned. Right? So you guys know EG is very perfectionist. DO is very step by step. So if you put these two fella together, you have a very meticulous, by the book type of things. Things usually go very slow. Right, things usually go very slow. The development of the entire idea become very slow, you know. So very soon you'll become the fire hydrant. Right. So the problem is certain idea, if you don't put in the correct amount of diligence in developing, right? So when you need it that time, right, it will not come out. Like the fire hydrant, right? So the saddest thing about the fire hydrant is that, you know, when you need the fire hydrant that time, when your house is burning and you need the fire hydrant, you don't know where the fire hydrant is. By the time you found the fire hydrant, you only found out that, you know, it has already been broken for a very long time. It was not reported, you know, not, no, again, sorry to China, right? China got a lot of place. What they do is that they just put the fire hydrant, there's no piping. Like that also can. Nobody tested it, right? So, you know, you got a lot of idea, you know, you got a lot of diligence. Seems like there's no testing that has actually been done here, right? So it's all about maintenance issue, probably a little bit, and does people know how to use it, right? So please, Geng metal, don't be a fire hydrant, right? So this one is a lot about, you know, please go out and do a little bit more what we call ground practice, right? So, you know, yeah, right, some idea need times for it to mature, which is correct, nothing wrong with it, right? So but then, you know, even if you know, sharp what we call sharpen the sword into the sharpest sword in the world, but then you just hang it onto the wall, no use one. The best weapon is the weapon that's being used. It's not the weapon that, you know, you say is the best. Right, so the idea that is the best is basically the one that is converting sales. It's not the one in theory you think is good. Right, makes sense. Right, so Geng metal, please go and take your great idea, great skill set, go out to the open and use it. Right, fire hydrant left there, not much of a use. It's illegal to play with the fire hydrant first. Right, so steam metal, if you take a look, is a HO7 killing. Right? So HO7 killing is again another one of those what we call very scary combination. Right, so BaZi, there are certain combination that is labeled as being scary. Nothing wrong one, right? So the HO7 killing is somebody who is screaming, you know, sky is falling. Okay, somebody is screaming sky is falling. Now again, it creates a lot of feeling of fear and anxiety. Right, so it's like the if you've seen the World War II movie, is where the air raid siren is blaring on. Then you hear is the ground machine gun shooting the air for the airplane. And you try to shoot down the bomber. Right, so and then go boom, 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 boom. It's that situation. Right, it's very so. I've chosen just to use the break glass, which is the alarm system for the building. Right, so the alarm system for the building is blaring, everything. And then when you hear the fire alarm, right, the first thing that everybody in Malaysia will do, Malaysia only, is to call reception. Very sad. Hey, fire alarm are real? Is it real? We don't respond to fire alarm one. I confirm to you. Anybody who hear the fire alarm, the first thing is not to run out. Is to basically blur around, look at you. So real? Real? Right, so sin metal this particular month probably a bit panicky. Right, so now again, having quick reflexes is not something that is bad, but it's the overreaction. Right, overreaction. Like for example is just tell you like mosquito bite. Mosquito bite. You are itchy. You're itchy, right? So that basically tells you that's where the mosquito are biting. But if your body is the overreactive type, allergic, right? So it can cause a lot of problem because why? All the army in your body is basically rushed to that small little mosquito bite, and you become overreactive to that. Then you become, your entire body become scratchy. Right, so just be careful of that. Like, try not to be overreactive with situation. So which means you communicate with people also, like, please don't need to be like Chicken Little one. The sky is not falling. No need to over exaggerate everything, especially with the 7 killing, right? So you even up it with the real amount of aggression, right? So you probably should take a breath, right? So now this one, Chinese says 30而后行, think 3 times first before you take action, right? So try and do that a little bit. Okay, right? So don't be too overreactive with the situation, just try to be a bit chill. So again, it's just a normal month. Right, so rainwater, personal favorite, personal favorite. This one also is something new in the computer world. It's just something that's very popular for the past maybe 5 years. People have been putting their computer into water. They are not H2O water. They are specifically coolant liquid. Specific coolant liquid. They put their computer into it. So these are for the high power computer. Right, so high power computer, they generate a lot of heat. Your normal fan not enough. So what they do is that they dip the entire thing to cooler, so you can see the water start bubbling. Right, so they have like the car, right? So your car uses a water cooling system, right? Computer also uses that, right? So got direct wealth, right? So got Friendstar. Now Friendstar direct wealth is actually called sharing the load. This month, you need to think about how you're gonna share the load a bit. Really, give money out, share out the money. Okay, right? So that's basically the direct revenue, right? So your efficiency level is very, very high this particular month, which is good, right? So rainwater efficiency level very high, but again, if you are relying on your one person energy to get everything done, you're probably going to burn out. You're probably going to a not a very bright place you're going to, right? So that's why it's time for you to basically take a look at how can you share out the burden. Share out the burden, also share out the spoil, the money, right? So the problem with roping people in is that different perception. Especially again, I tell a lot of people is that there are just too many people. Sorry to use employee mindset. Employee mindset means that you think that I only do this thing only, but I want the payment for this much one. That is employee mindset. They have this general entitlement that thinks that a company is making a lot of money, I should be entitled to the share. No, you are being employed and paid at a certain amount to do certain things. You do your own responsibility, right? So then don't ask for anything additional. If you want anything additional, you need to carry the burden, responsibility, and also risk. This is what a lot of employees are unable to do. They want the result, they want the return, they want the share, but they have no capability of carrying, especially the responsibility of failure. So if you want to go out corporate ladder, right, one thing that you need to be able to do is that to be able to take the blame for stuff that is happening around, as in be a leader and, you know, cover the bullet. Not many people can do that. Right? So that's why, you know, you need to be careful of that. Whoever you rope in, right, make sure that, you know, the person you rope in is competent for the position that it is. So which means in this one, you know, you put the wrong water in, you know, you don't simply fill the liquid coolant system with your tap water. Your computer will burn one. These are not tap water. They are specifically mixture of coolant inside you use. Very different. This water are usually sticky. What we call very high boiling point is a bit more higher than water. All right, so no, do that. Right, so quick water. Right, so quick water got the rock wealth and indirect wealth. Now rock wealth is a bit different. Now what wealth? They are competitive energy, right? They are competitive energy, so they are not sharing energy. They are competitive energy itself. And indirect wealth, again, you know, is opportunity that's fleeting. It's not fixed, right? So it's not fixed. So this one is basically fighting for profit, right? So, you know, if you take a look at this, you know, I use a water kettle. So what happens with water kettle when you put water inside and you forget about it? You burn the water until it's dry. Then you get into a problem. So this one, when it's competitive, when you are fighting for limited return, your problem is when you run out of money to give them, right? They're all scattered. They all basically scattered. Now, friend star, sometimes they will work if there is no reward. Friend star will do. Friend star will actually still be there, you know, even if there's no reward. But you as a person who is able to earn, you need to reward them. That's all. That's only the difference. Right? Whereas Rockwell Star is there because it's like mercenaries. Got money, they do. No money, they don't do. Right? So you need to be careful with the opportunity that you're working with. So this one you need to really consider, right? So now this one is, if you don't work with them, they will probably start a competitive business to fight with you. So you need to think of, you know, how can I actually work with them? Two choice only is either, you know, you guys become competitor or you guys become collaborator. You think of it, the situation, you know, as in the opportunity is how. Like for example, again, you know, a lot of Redang, right? So now Redang Island is a very special business. You know, they probably only got window of about 5 to 6 months to make business on. Yeah, only 5 to 6 months to make business. So which means after 5 to 6 months, everybody got no business anymore. That Redang is a, you know, certain amount of time that they can do, you know, because they can't do it during the rain season. They can't do it, during the season whereby the wave is too big. You know, they cannot do it during that time. So you can see, right? So the opportunity window is very small, right? So of course, each of them is trying to compete with each other, but at the same time, they're also working with each other. So which means that if let's say that one of the resort is lacking in certain things, right? Really cannot. They got a lot of people. The people from the rest of the resort will go and help them. Yes, right. So as long as the other resort know how to pay them, because everyone who's working inside there is basically locals. Right. So you have this sort of situation, and you need to think of how can you collaborate with people in a situation whereby, you know, it could get very competitive. Right. Same with the durian seller also is the same. Right. Same with the durian seller. So right now is durian season for Malaysia. At least at Penang side, so that's why, you know, we're gonna go and eat durian, you know, in our excursion, right? So, you know, it's great experience. Fresh durian from the tree. The tree just drop, you grab it and then we'll open. Hopefully you will see some dropping. Right, so last one, Jiao, normally number one, you know, this one, right? So is IR hurting officer, right? So IR hurting officer. This combination is a very iffy combination. So this is somebody who talk a lot, but no point. Right? Somebody who talk a lot, but no point, right? So just put it in a way, right? So if you are in the forest, it's somebody who discover the water source. Right? So somebody would know. So just imagine somebody probably, you know, just stranded on the island, you know, and then, you know, you guys were, you know, walking around, then one of the fella, you know, found the source of water. So whatever, very exciting. Then that part was very exciting, running out. Oh, we found water! Like that. Right? So you will see that the Jiawu this particular month, a little bit more thing to express to you. A little bit more. Very excited, you know, very, very excited. Problem. A lot of the information may be unverifiable. Just need to be careful of that, right? So if you are the Jiawu, then verify the information first before you spread it out, right? So that's all, Nima. Okay, right? So no, don't be, you know, don't be what we call xiao gia. Right? Xiao gia means, you know, somebody who's a bit crazy, right? So this combination is a little bit weird. It's like you have discovered something that you shouldn't be discovered. Right? It's like, oh, you know, archaeology is always the same, you know, suddenly you discovered certain things that, you know, it's like, oh, greatest archaeology find in the world, right? So nowadays, you know, the archaeology world is very careful. They don't just go out and, you know, announce to people, right? So they usually, when they discover something new, is that they cover everything up first, right? Because why? Human ego very fragile, right? So, you know, human don't want to acknowledge that, you know, we are not superior, right? So like right now, you know, they only started to discuss, you know, there's a lot of places, you know, whereby there are huge rock that has been cut in a very precise manner by people who does not have the tool to cut it. They can't explain how it's being done. Yep. Right. So, you know, the theory is that there could probably be certain, you know, civilization that's already left us here, right? So that last time they have the technology to basically do all this, you know, to the primitive people at that particular time. They've already done it already, all the, you know, stone carving thingy, right? So and then they have probably left the planet, and you know, tourists. Right? Tourists came over, you know, see, you know, here very bad water, introduce some technology, solve their problem, then ciao already. Right? So that's the situation. So if you want a happy discussion, Jiawu is a good person to happy talk to. They are more than happy to, you know, tell you about the sky, tell you about the land, tell you about this, tell you about that. In the end, probably all the information not very useful, but very exciting. Right? So if this is a newscaster, very exciting news. Everything also, you know, can talk about. Good man, right? Happy man. We're happy, right? So they are also very happy to discover, right? So indirect resource give you the ability to go do discovery. Hurting officer give you the ability to spread. So it's basically spreading discovery. Now again, the discovery doesn't mean it's real, doesn't mean it's not real, right? So that one depending, right? So these are all the 10-day master for the month of June. Right, so use it wisely, right? So if you need somebody who has good execution power, look for Ren Water. Just now you would, right? You know, you would need somebody with a good execution power. Go look for Ren Water, because what Ren Water got friend stuff. He cannot do, he can also find people who probably can do it. Right? So, you know, you got idea, you don't know how to execute, you know, go and ask the Ren Water. Ren Water probably give you some idea, you know, where to look for people to get there. So they can connect you with people who probably have the skills. And this is how you utilize the different DayMaster. So right now is that, you know, have you been checking out your friends' DayMaster? If you have not, right, since you learn this, make it a point, you know, when you see somebody, right? So just very casually tell them that, hey, you know, I'm into this particular activity called reading a BaZi chart, you know. So, you know, would you like to have your BaZi chart, you know, taking a look at? Then you plot their, you know, then you have their DayMaster already, right? You keep it as a record. Next time when you need this sort of DayMaster, get connected, right? Why not? Right, so this is how you probably use the skill set. Right, okay guys, that's basically, you know, what I can give to you. So again, confirm the chat is not really working, right? So I don't know why Facebook just hate me, right? Just put it that way. All right guys, that's it. You know, tomorrow we'll probably talk about feng shui. Right, so tomorrow still got a bit of time. I'm still here, you know, 5th only I'll be leaving, right? So then after that, you know, next 5 days and no transmission again. Then Chiman will come back, and then only, you know, I'll do the Chiman forecast. All right guys, that's it. See you guys. Bye.